Okay, it is Christmas Eve.
Crunch time.
Crunch time with Maddie Rose, a
What's
member
happening?
member of the Hive. How old are you now, Maddie?
25 this year.
25 years old, and the reason I'm here is something very special. I went to just before the Hive in Rockport was going to open. I went in, and you were there in your little room back there. And when I walked in the door, on the right-hand side, you had an oil painting. And
I know the one.
you know the
Speak
one.
of, yep.
It's a beautiful painting, and I was blown away. And I planted the seed, and this is back in what? July?
Yeah.
June, something like that.
Yeah, it might have been the second one in August. I don't remember. Maybe it was.
No, it was the first because it was
right.
just,
So
yeah.
it was July 9th.
July 9th. This is the date, and so I was blown away by this oil painting you had. So I had it. So then a couple months later, I'm thinking to myself, how cool would it be if I had Maddie do something for my wife? So a special Christmas present. This is an oil painting you did for my wife for a Christmas present. And it's from a couple pictures that I took. We put together, right?
Yeah, a few pictures. Yeah.
And so it's drying right now. How do you describe the painting? Oil painting?
Yeah, it's an oil painting. It's not mixed media. It's just one straight medium. There's no glazing on it because it's still wet, but that could be something, if you're interested in the future. We could put a clear coat varnish on it.
That gives it that luster.
Shine. Yeah, it gives it a luster. It also tends to enrich and deepen some of the colors too, because it's like basically just putting like a glass plate over
the one
it.
that I saw at the hut
was heavily glazed.
Heavily glazed. Yeah.
Heavily glazed.
Okay. So this is a scene from one of my favorite spots. Is where my grandfather, Captain Joe, used to vacation.
Yeah, where is this? I've been wondering about that this whole time.
Naples, Florida.
Naples, Florida.
Yeah, I went there for the first time when I was 9 years old, and my father and mother go there in the winter, and I've been going there since I was 20.
Yeah, I was trying to put that together because I don't know any beaches around here that have those pylons in the background.
Yeah,
like that,
it's not local, but it's a place near and dear to our heart. So, Maddie, let's talk about you and where were you trained?
I went to Elmira College, which is in upstate New York, and I kind of made my way into the art department there, kind of by chance, because I went in undeclared, not really, as typical college freshman.
Yep.
I went to play soccer initially, and in high school I was into English and history. Rockport High doesn't really have much of an art department to speak of. No offense, Mrs. Hilliard. I'm sorry if you see this. So my sophomore year, I ended up taking a drawing class per the recommendation of one of my advisors, because it's just like a prereq to graduate, and ended up kind of snowballing from that point and kind of discovering that this is really what I want to do, and that
passion.
The major was declared, and we've been 110% full steam ahead ever since. So.
Full steam ahead. And you're part of the Hive.
Yeah, part of the Hive, one of the members of the Hive.
One of the members of the Hive. Now, you have a website? Yeah,
I do.
Of course, you have a website.
It's www.mattrosefa.com. It's actually in desperate need of updating right now.
Yeah, but it's pretty funky. It's pretty cool.
It's cool. I built it all myself with iWeb, which is pretty straightforward, cool.
It's a beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful website.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, I like it a lot. And so you can see. So is there contact information if someone?
All my contact info is up there. Email. I think even my cell phone number is up there, which might be a bad choice on the internet, but
that's all right. So let's talk about some of the other work besides our piece.
Sure.
And this is a piece that you had commissioned that, if I hold my hand steady, people will be able to recognize the building to the lower left in the picture as the building, the concession of Good Harbor Beach.
Yep. The only artistic liberty I took in this is I actually moved the telephone poles onto the opposite side of the road.
Ah, gotcha.
Typically they would be, if you're traveling to Gloucester via 127 and passing Good Harbor Beach, your telephone poles would be on the right hand side. But just for the sake of the composition, I wanted to have the break of the road on the very bottom with the shadows, and I knew I wanted the birds and the power lines in there, so I figured, hey,
Really cool. You did that for a couple?
Yep, I did this for my friend John Carvelis, who commissioned me to do this as a Christmas present for them to give to his brother-in-law, Chris Cobbs, and his wife for Christmas.
Very cool.
So.
Can you move that right there?
Yeah, yeah.
I love this this three-piece thing you got going on down here. This is another oil And is that Essex?
Yeah, that's sort of an interpretatory triptych of Hog Island and Essex from more or less like the Farnham's clam shack area.
Really cool. And you did it on 3 different blocks of wood.
Yep.
Really pretty. I like the how I love the white. You know, the clouds and stuff.
Yeah.
Those thick brush strokes and
Yeah.
really cool.
Clouds are very fun and like almost therapeutic, I think, sometimes to paint. Yeah, definitely.
And where did you see this boat right here?
This was over at the Beacon Marina, just down by Rocky Neck in that area. And actually, I forget what the type. I used to know what the type of boat was. I want to say it's like a Ned Havisham, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, so I mean that's probably.
Now, is there
correct,
something with you in your style of painting that you say is unique to you, or a style that you like to paint? Like, do you use like a heavy brush, or what would you consider your styling?
Well, I mean, I think my style is definitely still developing right now. I mean, I've only been painting. I mean, in terms of like the grand scheme of painters in the world, I'm pretty much a baby still. But I, just from looking at works of art and taking, what I appreciate and what I enjoy from those pieces, and also what's like technically successful in those pieces, I think I take a lot of inspiration from like really painterly works, like impressionist works, where it's like very thick, broad brush strokes, and it leaves a little bit more to the nuances of the paint. Yeah, exactly. It's like a little bit more suggestive than literal. But I also am a huge fan of extreme realism as well. Because initially when I started with drawing and everything, I was very manic almost with detail and things like that, and so I kind of had like this weird push and pull between being very specific and then leaving it to be a little bit more vague, I guess.
I bet you a lot of artists.
This one actually is not mine. This was
really?
That was a gift from one of my really good friends, also a fellow art major, John Blatchford, who hails from New Gloucester, Maine.
Oh wow!
And when we were graduating, we there was sort of a group of about 5 or 6 of us in the senior class that were graduating art majors, and we decided to do sort of a swap. And the theme of the swap was trade something that will be missed. So that was something that would have been missed from.
You told me the story about this, but why don't you tell it to the?
Yeah, the salmon was another piece that we kind of did as like just an extra little class project where we went to Wegmans. If anybody's from upstate New York or been to upstate New York, they know about Wegmans. We went to Wegmans as a grocery store and got some salmon fillets from the seafood department and hurried them back to the studio and set up a little still life under some clip lamps. And probably about a good hour into the session, we started getting a faint odor of fish. And at which point we decided to call it quits or go and get some fresh fillets to continue on.
We got to get Charlie Bianchini.
Yeah.
Because
so this is unfinished, but soon to be
finished.
Definitely revisited because it definitely deserves to be.
This is Charlie Bianchini, who is a super duper good egg, and she's in China right now. Hopefully, she'll be able to see this video. Does she know? She knows. She sat for this, obviously, right? So she knows it's in the process.
Yeah.
So, Charlie, big shout out to you. All right there.
I'm sure she'll appreciate it being in China. Definitely.
I'm sure. Maddie, thanks for everything.
My pleasure.
Can't wait
Thanks for stopping by.
Can't wait. I can't play this video till after Christmas.
Yeah, I know. We'll have to be. I'm gonna be crossing my fingers probably more than you.
It's gonna be great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Perfect.